Good day. Welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Mahopac Schools. I'm Eric Gross, your host, along with Superintendent of Schools Anthony DiCarlo, and happy holidays.
Same to you, Eric. It's probably more important now that we really focus on family and being together and getting ready for the holidays. But as we know, leading up to the holidays, it's not easy for a lot of people.
No.
Whether it's the students, whether it's our staff, or whether it's our parents. So we really are being sensitive to that, and we're here for social, emotional support anywhere along the way. But to everybody that's out there, we wish everybody, hope you had a great
Good
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and look forward to a wonderful holiday season.
The holidays are here, but unfortunately, so is COVID. And now a new variant has come upon the horizon, the Omicron. First case reported in New York State just the other day.
Yeah, I think it was
here.
here. I think it was here. And so with that being said, to the community, and we had mentioned this about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
As you know, the governor had released back, the end of the summer, about the 90 days for masking. She re-upped that. So I know there's a lot of questions always out there about masking in school and whatever. Because of this new variant, because the holidays are coming out, she issued another 90 days of having masks on. I think, Eric, you and I spoke about it. We knew that the winter was going to be different than the fall and most likely the spring. People are back indoors. And like we've mentioned all along, you just need to be cautious, when you're together, as a family and what you're doing. Just make sure you're cautious. And, when you're out and about, try to, wear the masks if you can, because it'll be helpful. Here's what also is happening. Not only are we seeing the numbers start to tick up,
Yeah.
we also are seeing flu season. We're seeing a spike. I had my meeting with the County Board of Health, with all the superintendents from Putnam this past Monday, and sure enough, they're also seeing that happening. So what's happening now, other doctors are saying, if you are presenting with flu-like symptoms, because flu-like symptoms are the same as COVID, so you need to get to the doctor, and then they can test you on what it is or isn't, and then treat you accordingly. But, we are starting to see an uptick. We have a cluster in one of our buildings, and we had to shut it down for a couple of days. So it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's spreading. Thank God, please, that we're not seeing hospitalizations or serious effects from it. But people are weak and for a couple of days not feeling well, and it really, regardless whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, people are getting it. So we need to be cautious. We need to be patient. That means the following. As we are looking at our workshops in our elementary schools, we're looking at doing them when we get back from our January break, waiting that couple of weeks until everything's settled down. And then we'll be offering through the elementary schools workshops for kids, which we usually do every year. But we're doing it the second half of this year, which is hopefully we're going to be able to do, and we get through this a little bit of a spike. We have our outside organizations that are coming in and using our buildings. However, we're very prescriptive on what they need to do. They have to have rosters, we have to have attendance, because if somebody happens to get or be positive, they then have to call the Board of Health and go through the process. So we're getting there. I want to thank the public for their patience. We're working through it. I mean, I mentioned this, we mentioned this back in the summer, that there were going to be ups and downs.
Right.
There were going to be spikes. We got through Halloween pretty much unscathed. But it seems to be not with Thanksgiving, and now you add this new variant. Again, we're going to try our best.
Let's hope the weather continues in the level that it's been going. We're taping today at the Mahopac Falls School, by the way. We're looking outside the window, and it's a mild day, and children are actually outside with their teachers. So more and more of this is being held in Mahopac. As long as that weather holds out,
Yeah,
the teachers
we get
can
them
go out
outside,
with the
right?
kids.
Right, there's no question. When we can get them out, we're going to get them out. The other issue is this, and
Yeah.
I have said this repeatedly. We have worked really hard with our buses, right? I have said this over, I will say it again. Parents, make sure if your son or daughter is riding the school bus back and forth to school during these upcoming winter months, they're properly dressed, have a winter coat. The windows have to maintain and have to be open, and the hatch has to be open, because we have to get the circulation available,
Right.
so we're not quarantining a whole bus. Please make sure. There seemed to be some, I guess because we got back from the break, sometimes people forget, Why are the windows open? That's why the windows are open.
Are they open all the way?
Yes,
Just
yeah,
partially?
no, they have to be open.
Okay.
Because we want to get as much circulation as possible.
Right.
Cross ventilation. Wear a coat.
Yeah.
That's, that's what we're trying to make sure that everybody understands, and I want to make sure I repeat it over and over again.
Okay. All
Because
right.
we want to maintain kids getting back and forth to school on buses, and we don't want to have to quarantine everybody in the bus. So the windows and the hatch have to stay open per the directions of the DOH, which makes sense.
Not to put you on the spot, but what about vaccinations? Does the school have a policy about this, encouraging parents to have their children vaccinated?
Listen, I have said this from the get-go. As you are aware, I have said it is a conversation between the family and their pediatrician. And then the decision should be based on that.
Okay.
However, we all know that there are positives to being vaccinated with regards to contact tracing and quarantining. You don't get caught up in it if you're vaccinated. If you're not and you get caught up in it, you're going to have to, be quarantined for X amount of days with regards to it. So again, I have learned along the way
Yeah.
that you really have to have that conversation with your pediatrician.
Because again, the Putnam Health Department on the 9th of December is having a child vaccination clinic again.
Yeah, and they're also offering booster shots
Yeah.
on that same date at
Yeah.
the old
Dress barn.
Dress barn, yeah.
Putnam Plaza.
Yeah. So again, I mean, it's a conversation that needs to be had. And you and your pediatrician and your family's pediatrician can have that conversation. What we are seeing, to your point,
Yeah.
there are more people getting vaccinated in Putnam County. There's actually an uptick in Mahopac in regards to vaccinations. And there's a correlation. I mean, you look in LoHUD yesterday, you look at Rockland County, 94% of their population, and Putnam County has, Westchester County has in the upper 80s.
Right.
They're not having as many issues because of the fact that it's not spreading as much.
Mahopac's about 65 or 70 now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's upwards of close to 70, which
Okay.
which is climbing, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good thing.
You want to talk a little bit today about behaviors, about activities, about things taking place in the school. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so, we all clearly understand, we've all been through the last 2 years of a pandemic that none of us have been through before, and I understand the social, emotional, overlay for our students, for our staff, teachers, all staff members, our administrators, and our parents,
Mhm.
and our community. We're all feeling it. We're all tired. We're all, when is this gonna ever end, right? And so there's a lot of emotion that comes with that. You have students, Eric, for example, freshmen in high school right now. Their last time fully in school was in 7th grade. We kid about it, but a lot of things have to be relearned.
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes it's when you go through an accident or something, you have to learn how to walk, how to use your arm,
Mhm.
or other things. Well, the same thing has happened the first quarter of the school year, right? Same thing will apply for a 4th grader, who's now a 6th grader going
Right.
into middle school, right? But the 10 weeks are now there. We kind of know what those expectations are. And this is where we have to come together as a community, right? Meaning everybody has to come together for the good of the kids and working together, right? And so our purpose as a school system is to get kids college and career ready. Expectations are you come into school and we're an academic institution. You come in, ready to learn, sitting down, and doing the best you can do every day. I know that Dr. Lawrence had to send out a letter about right before the holiday break
Mhm.
because he was concerned about the growing number of students that are coming to class late, which impacts his teacher, which impacts the other students who want to learn, people coming in late. So it's 10 weeks. This is the expectation. You come in. When you go to college, Eric, if you're ignoring a class and you're coming to class late or not going to class,
Right.
you're literally taking thousands and thousands of dollars and throwing it in the garbage.
That's right.
Because you're not there.
Right.
So we want to get kids acclimated to there's a responsibility, right?
What
I had
about-
this.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go. No.
But what about cell phones? A problem too now?
Well, you know what? We had a conversation at our last board meeting, and I had this conversation about social media.
Yep.
I've said this, if you have Netflix, which a lot of you do, please, over the holiday, with your child, again, age appropriate, especially secondary, take a look at the documentary entitled Social Dilemma. It is eye-opening. Eric, the amount of hours that we are spending on issues that have to do with social media and posts, whether they're bullying posts, whether they're threats to the school post, are consuming the work that needs to be done. And so what happens is we talk about social emotional issues. That gets kids upset when they see the post. That gets parents upset when they see the post. You know me a long time. This is something that we have zero tolerance for. You do it, you get caught, okay? Whether it's by the authorities and or the school, it will be following the code of conduct. You'll be suspended from school for 5 days, and you're going to go to a superintendent's hearing. It is not funny. It is not fooling around. It is not a joke. It's serious. And here's the issue, and this is really important for everybody to understand, and I mean this very much so. If you do all the research of the shootings across the country in the recent decades, 100% information was leaked out and put out there before it happened. So we can't take anything for granted. So even though kids think they're fooling around, it's only funny, we can't take that chance. It's a serious matter. It's disrupting the educational process of the school building. It is not fun and games. It is going to be taken seriously. Again, 100% of the times information was leaked, it was ignored. Kids are like, it's just, that's just Anthony being Anthony, or that's just so-and-so being so-and-so. Whether it was ignored by peers, whether it was ignored by parents who saw it on phones of their kids that was being shared with, okay? It has to be taken seriously because it's to me, it's very alarming. And if we don't come together as a society and say what is happening with social media, what's on TikTok, what these kids are exposed to, the dares that they're exposed to, kids losing their life, kids doing things in school because they're seeing these things modeled on TikTok, we're losing the moral fabric of our country. And nobody wants to step up and say, this is wrong. And it's wrong. And this is, schools are places for learning. To me, again, this is just me. Cell phones are a privilege. They're not a right. Okay? You should be in school learning from the time you come in to the time you leave. I do understand, Eric, and I know I'm going to hear it, so I'm going to say it right now. I get it. You need to be in contact with your son or daughter before school or after school. I get it. People work. They want to know where their kids are. During the school day, you're in school. You got to get a hold of your kid. You could call in or vice versa. Something has got to change. This cannot keep up. And there's a lot of parents out there that feel the same way because it's not fair to their kids.
Yeah.
It's not. So I implore you, parents, please, Social Dilemma, Netflix, take a look at it. Very eye-opening. And if we don't change this in the next number of years, we're going to lose ourselves and our way as a country.
Is this one of the leading crises facing American education today?
I think there's a couple things facing American education. I think social media is definitely a component of it and what kids are exposed to and what's happening and what's going on. I think a lot of what kids are seeing out on the web, the way that music and certain groups of people are looked upon and frowned upon, I think it's in some of what they see on TV and these programs that glorify bad behavior and glorify, I think it's a combination of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And so here's our role, right? Our role as educators are to provide a first-class quality education, but understand how you develop as a good citizen in the United States of America and what goes into that. Listen, that doesn't mean, Eric, you can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But we have to respect one another. Not that it's my way, I don't want to hear it, that's it.
Yeah.
That's not the way a true democracy works. It should be give and take. Yet, we know in our country that that's not happening. And it's being modeled in a very negative way. And we call local control. We have that control, Eric. We're a community. We have to come together, schools, local government, state government, but most importantly, also our community, right? Our faith community, right? We all have to come together because ultimately, we love our kids and we want what's best for them. But we have to set norms. If you no longer have norms, then it becomes really, really problematic, really problematic.
And of course, the whole thing with social media too is the fact there's no editing. You can put any nonsense you want on that, on, as you say, on TikTok, on Facebook. Nobody checks this out, and that's the problem.
Yeah, listen, I have to be very honest with you, and I'm going to share this and be very frank. This is some of the work I'm going to do in retirement. I'm really going to work on advocacy, just what I talked to you about. I'm really going to look at both the state and federal level to really advocate for the need to help our kids, to help society, to get us back to where we need to go, to become a country that respects one another, that works together for the betterment of all. Because this is it's just not healthy. It's just not healthy. And it's more pronounced now because we're dealing with more social emotional issues because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And these issues were there beforehand. I'm not negating that. But now it's even more exacerbated. So what do? So I have to tell you what we're looking to do, and we're working with the Mahopac CTC, Community That Cares.
Yeah.
And we're going to be putting together workshops for parents to really, because parents are going through a lot. They're going through a lot of stresses and the like.
Right.
So we're going to be working together with the school staff and with the Community That Cares Coalition and putting together a series of workshops, both in the winter and the spring, to kind of help parents, help us and one another work together during these very difficult times and how we can socially, emotionally support each other. Because yelling and screaming at each other doesn't get anybody anywhere.
Do you get calls from parents on occasion who are really concerned, not complaining about anything, but just calling to say, gee, I'm really concerned about X, Y, Z?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And rightly so. Listen, you have to be the ultimate advocate for your child, right? And a lot of times, it's about a chain of command.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that happen, Eric, that happen at the building level.
Right.
And if it were taken care of at the building level and getting an understanding of the why and what happened, it goes a long way. What happens a lot of times is that people get so frustrated in the times that we're living that they circumvent that.
Yeah.
And they want to go right to me.
Yeah.
And then they go right back because, because it's got to go through that chain of command. And we have a great leadership team. Principals are awesome. My cabinet is awesome. And they'll handle a lot of things. They'll explain to the parents what we're doing and the why behind it. I mean, we upgraded our learning program now with regards to quarantining. So even though we have a class that's quarantined, the kids are getting support during the day. They're actually getting teachers at the end of the day to help them keep up with their academics. So as we're going through, we try to enhance things and make them better.
I'm sure people out there are saying, we want some positive news. We're tired of hearing all the problems in the world today. Positive news, like a young lady, a junior at Mahopac High named Rachel Berger, who is an symphony orchestra all-state.
Yeah, it's a great honor, and she's I believe a junior right now, and she's been on all area for the first couple of years. Now she's on all state for, I believe it's violin. It's a great credit to her discipline in that specific instrument. It's a credit to her teachers here at Mahopac High School. One of the things that's really important, Eric, is that, and I try to go out of my way, I mean, we recognize kids at our board meetings, whether it's athletics, whether it's science research, whether it's the arts, because that's what really shapes who you become. It's not only the academic piece, it's the extracurricular pieces, and it's the arts, it's the music, it's athletics that make you the person that you become. And I think that's what Mahopac prides itself on. During the fall season, we had our volleyball team was co-champs for the league. I want to congratulate the girls volleyball team. Our cross country had probably one of its best seasons in a long time. Sectional champs, a lot of kids placing very well, their best times in the races. So we're excited to see the work that's being done with our team that way. We had a very successful year. Again, in field hockey, we made the sectionals. We played really, really tough against the Mamaroneck. Our soccer programs didn't have a great year, but they really worked hard. They got better as the year went on. And then, of course, we have a football team. First time in 10 years we made the semifinals.
Yeah.
They were 5-0 at home. And then on December 21st, at our board meeting, which is a Tuesday night, we had to move it from the 16th to the 21st. We're going to be recognizing all of our fall athletes who got specific honors,
Right.
as well as honoring Rachel and some of the other students that have gotten some accolades in the arts over the first course of the school year. So that's exciting stuff.
Talking about athletics, have you seen the new gym lately? It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so we just put new LED lighting in the new gym, and actually the old gym. If you go in, it looks like an incredible brand new gym. It's really exciting, and the bond we're to the point where we're trying to finish up.
Right.
Eric, we still have supply issues. We have issues of certain things manufacturing that are weeks and weeks behind, but we're getting there. The kids are able to occupy the chorus room now and the band room. The ceiling in the band room is getting finished up. It looks great. It really, really looks great. It's a great space. We have plenty of room now for storage, which is contemporary storage for our instruments, not little
Not the
2x4s that we saw that were the originals.
When Sasha Przmylski was in kindergarten,
yeah.
those were built.
Yeah, we have the cafeteria being reconstituted, new equipment down there. Library Media Center is still a work in progress.
Right.
There's a lot of things that are back ordered. The librarians are working, getting the books in. So we're getting there slowly but easily. And then I'll be talking in January at our when we get to our January spotlight about what the next steps are going to be for the next couple of summers with regards to finishing up phase 2 of the project.
You talk about January, here we are in December already. That means it's budget time.
Yeah. So, budget season starts. So we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes right now, leadership team, cabinet, and getting ready for the budget, going out and asking what the needs and wants are of each of the buildings. And then, in February, we start our presentations to the community and to the board. We encourage the community to come out to those sessions and get some input from what they think are important things that need to stay, things that may need to be added.
Never
That's an
ending.
important,
Never
it's
ending.
a very important piece. Going back to two things
Yeah.
when it comes to academics and our kids and our athletes. This fall, which is unbelievable, every single varsity team was a scholar athlete team in New York State.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And then
Have you ever heard of that in all the years?
it's unreal. But
Really?
that's the student body at Mahopac.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Second, this senior class, 85% have taken at least one AP and one college course in their 9 to 12 experience.
That's fantastic.
Unbelievable number. So a lot of times we're out, we talk,
Right.
It's really about getting kids ready. And it's important to see what is happening within our district. Our kids, and you're there every graduation, our kids are going to some of the most competitive schools in the country, especially over the last 3 to 5 years. You have a senior class, 85% of which have taken an AP or a college level class. That's what a comprehensive high school has to offer. We have kids going to some of the best music schools in the country. They're going to Belmont. We have more kids that have gone to Belmont the last 3 to 5 years than we probably had before. So in all the areas, our kids are performing very, very well. And that's what we should be measured by.
You talk about AP courses. These young people get the college credit. It's saving mom and dad money.
Yeah, the AP is a little bit interesting though, because AP, you got to be very careful because if you don't get that 4 or 5, they may or may not accept it. The college classes, depending on where you go, that's where you save even more money, especially with some of our SUNY schools and others. You have some kids walking out of Mahopac High School that already have a year and a half worth of credits going into it, which is a big saving for parents, which is
tens
a
of
big,
thousands of
big,
dollars.
big saving. So,
Yeah.
we're excited about the work that we're doing. Our STEM lab is up and running and great things are going on with Project Lead the Way. And so, it's been a very good opening, the first quarter, meaning, getting things back and starting to stabilize. There are some things, of course, we can enhance and do better, which we will. But at the end of the day, Eric, when you're in school, and especially you're in high school, it's all now credits.
Yeah.
If you don't get enough credits, you have to repeat that class or
Right.
repeat some of those grade level classes your following year. So you're actually making it a little bit more difficult. And I say this all the time. I can't help you unless I know. And we want to encourage kids to come forward to let us know what their needs are academically, how we can help them, socially, emotionally, how we can help them. And that's another issue. It's okay to ask for help.
Right.
You know, we I think develop some of this stuff where, you know, if I come to you and I tell you I need help, it looks like it's that, you know, there's something not right with me.
Right.
And that's the worst thing. I think people who ask for help learn more.
Right.
They're more respected because I understand that you need, listen, and one of the things that I've come to appreciate sometimes, also our upper end kids, our honors kids, they need help also. People assume, well, because you're in an honors class, hey, you know everything, you don't need the help. Those kids need help too,
Of course.
academically and a lot of times social emotionally.
Sure.
So it's how we react, especially now more than ever. And again, our staff needs support, our teachers and our parents. I get it. We're in very, very difficult times. Everybody is emotionally drained.
Drained.
We've been through this all. We're waiting for it to end, and now you have this new kind of wrinkle tick up. And so it impacts people.
And not to leave anybody out, but the elementary staff, students, middle school staff, students, all these great accomplishments achieved by the high school young ladies and gentlemen would not happen.
I mentioned
without
that,
the
right.
support.
I mentioned that in my speech every year. When you
Yeah.
graduate out of Mahopac High School, it's a K-12 combination.
Right.
There's no question whatsoever.
Yeah.
Absolutely no question whatsoever. So
Okay.
that's what it's all about.
Okay. Wow. That was a jam-packed show today.
Yeah, well, it's been a while, you know, with
Yeah.
the holidays coming on and everything going on and happening. But it's important stuff. It's
Okay.
important stuff.
We want to wish you a happy holidays. We're gonna
Same
do
to
one-
you.
one more
Wish you all
before
the best.
The new year.
Yeah, to that gentleman behind there, and I look
Okay.
forward to 2022
Okay.
and some of the, you know, the great things that are on the horizon.
Sash, we thank you. For Superintendent Anthony DiCarlo, I'm Eric Rose. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Spotlight on Mahopac Schools. Until next time, bye-bye now.
For more information, please visit our website, www.mahopac.org. More videos can also be found on our YouTube news channel, mcsd.news.